Hey everybody, BeyondDrewTV here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Thorton Hills Zoo in Planet Zoo. So today in Thornton Hills Zoo, we're actually not going to be picking up right where we left off. We're actually going to be starting a new area of the zoo. I'm sure you could tell from the title of the video and the thumbnail and all that fun stuff there. But yeah, we're going to be starting the North American section of the zoo today. So yeah, in this video, we're going to go ahead and tackle the kind of entranceway of it, the first little plaza, I guess you'd say, and first few little building areas, and then the general outline for the rest of the area. So this is going to be a multi-part episode for this area because it is a vast portion of land that I've kind of taken up here. So I've been kind of hinting at it, talking about it from the past few episodes as we've been in our old zoo area, you know, especially the last episode where we were talking about all the historic, you know, buildings and the old, you know, the old habitats and old pens and stuff like that for our hooved animals and stuff like that. So, but now we're kind of transitioning into the part of the zoo that would be under renovation. So again, just the last probably 3 or 4 videos there have just all been part of the old zoo. This is going to kind of kick off and go into the newer part of the zoo, the part of the zoo that has been already done as far as the master plan goes. Again, we've kind of talked about master plans here and there, but just to reiterate, if you're not really sure about them, you can Google these. If you Google right now in a separate tab, because don't leave the video, stay here. But if you open up a separate tab or separate window and Google literally as, you know, zoo master plan, I think the first one that comes up, at least for me, is the Denver Zoo, and you can click on it and it is the Denver Zoo's, you know, master plan for the next, I think, like 10 to 15 years through like 2025 or 2030 or something like that. So yeah, just so whenever I say master plan and, you know, this is the more modern part of the master plan or whatever, that's kind of what I'm harking back to talking about there. So again, you're gonna kind of see a stark transition as far as the what the habitats look like, what the theming is going to kind of ramp up to be. There's actually going to be, you know, a theme in these areas and stuff like that. A story is going to be kind of driving the area as well. There's going to be an attraction as well. So yeah, you can just really see where, you know, the difference. I want there to be a really stark difference between that old wing of the zoo and then just this newer part here that we're building right now. So to kind of do that here, like I said, we're kind of taking a lot of inspiration from a master plan there, a real master plan from the Louisville Zoo. I'm pretty sure, let me see, I have a tab pulled up here. Yeah, from the Louisville Zoo. I don't believe it has been built yet. It was from 2016, so I'm pretty sure that the zoo is in probably a transition period of building it and or getting it approved to build. But there was this part of the Louisville Zoo master plan that really stuck out to me called the Kentucky Trails. It was pretty much a North American section of the zoo. It was kind of more themed around a Kentucky area, but they had this, and you can see me building it right here, right now. They had this really cool boat section. It kind of reminded me of the Chester Zoo from the research I was doing on the Chester Zoo for our zoo design series. It has this raft. They're themed after like old rafts, so it doesn't fully fit on what we have in game, but there's still boats that go around this canal area here, and I thought that'd be really cool to implement that for our zoo. And it's, you know, not too far-fetched as far as you know, what actual zoos do, because again, the Chester Zoo in the UK, it has boats that goes around an area of its zoo and shows off animals and stuff like that. So we do the same thing here. I'm gonna have to go through and redo it a little bit. I still have a little bit of issues messing with the terrain and the water and getting the levels to stay where I want them at. The level of the water that you see right now is going to shift because I smooth out a certain, like, one little bank of this, you know, canal way. I smooth it out and then the water levels go bananas. They go crazy and I can never get it back to where I need it to. And I basically just put it off the entire episode to not redo the water levels and stuff, because that means I'm going to have to redo the path. I'm going to have to redo my barriers that we eventually get to as well. And it's just like, you know, that canalway and the waterway as you know, step 1. And to redo step 1, I have to redo steps, you know, 9, 8, 7, 6 to get back to it. So it's just kind of like, I was sitting there building, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, I know I have to go back and do this, but I don't want to right now. So there it is. But yeah, for the concept art that we looked at here, Some stuff that really caught my eye and that I wanted to get was, again, this, canal with the boatway. I wanted to also get where we're going to start building here in just a minute or two, I believe. Here is the this kind of frontier town, a frontier kind of city kind of thing, where we're going to put in a few buildings. One of them is working. One of them is a small exhibit building, so it has 2 small animals inside of it. And the other does not work, but I think I'm going to put an education something inside of it, because basically from the master plan, it shows off this building as being an education center altogether. Actually, I think it's a different kind of name for it. Let me scroll down here. It's a satellite classroom. So yeah, different. And I see this a lot in different master plans and Google Maps. When you're looking, there's just a lot of buildings that, they might not be, they're not always just merchandise shops or gift shops or anything like that. A lot of, zoos, or if not all zoos, they focus on educating the public on, conservation and animals and stuff like that. So a lot of times, I remember even as a kid going to, my local zoo, and they'd bring us into, maybe just some random building that, again, doesn't have merchandise or anything, and it's just a satellite classroom or an education building, and we would sit down and they'd bring in, a local animal, or what do they call them? Ambassador animals, right? I think that's what it's called. For my awesome zookeeper viewers, let me know below. I think it's called an ambassador animal, but they would bring out like a hawk or some animal that you could kind of get up and close and personal with, and show kids or anyone that's visiting the zoo, like, here's this animal and here's what they're all about, and here's what they're like, really up close and personal there. So again, just to reiterate, this is the start of that building right here, but just to reiterate that kind of, not all buildings have to be, a restaurant or a merchandise shop or a bathroom, or whatever like that. While, we don't really have like an education building per se, facility in the game, we do have education, the speakers or the TVs and stuff like that kind of affect the guest education, so you can kind of fake it a little bit. But it would be kind of cool if in the future, Frontier kind of goes, more heavily influent or more heavy into the education side of it, and gives us a way to make, education buildings or satellite classrooms like this or something like that. So but yeah, that's just something a little bit different that kind of have to keep in mind as you're designing your zoos there. So, and it was really fun to do this sort of architecture too. We have the perfect wall sets and perfect pieces to do this kind of, again, frontier town, frontier kind of city feel with it there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun doing that there. So overall, what we're putting into this area though is all of the North American areas. The biggest draw for the area is going to be, I guess you'd call it the prairie area, the prairie three times that I failed. Grassland area. There it is. Where it's going to be a mixed use habitat there. And we started off with the bison and pronghorn, because both those animals like to hang out with each other. So I hope in the future, as we get more DLCs and updates to the game and more animals and stuff like that, and I hope as we get more North American animals, the habitat that I'm making is definitely big enough to throw in any more animals that can hang out with our bison and our pronghorn and stuff like that. So if we get like deer or elk or anything like that can kind of hang out with those animals as well, we definitely leave enough room in our habitat to add them in there. And yeah, again, speaking of that habitat, as we're going to be coming up to it here shortly and start building it there, it is pretty dang ginormous. The real one that I'm modeling it after, I just had it up here. I think yeah, here it is. It's in real life, it's 19 acres big. So the real one that I'm modeling after is ginormous as well. But in game, I'm not sure how many acres it is or how to even measure with that at all. But it is ginormous, and we do have a huge herd of pronghorn and bison. I think about the max number you can get. And it's really cool looking. We don't get full. The next episode we'll get into kind of building the habitat up to how we really want it to look. Because in my head, I kind of have like a prairie, rolling hills kind of look to it. We don't really get into that fully. We just get to building the barrier. But yeah, it's just really cool looking to see all the bison and the pronghorn and everything just running through the habitat and stuff like that. So, but hey, tell you what, we are kind of getting close to the end of the time lapse there. So we're gonna, what I'm gonna do is we're gonna do a quick little live portion of it, because I didn't get recorded everything that I did. So there wasn't too much I didn't get recorded, but I just kind of want to show off in real time and talk through my thoughts there, talk through what I'm thinking for the area, and get some feedback from you lovely folks there. Let me know what you're thinking of the area so far as we kind of continue forward. So yeah, like I said, time lapse is just about done. I'm gonna go ahead and load up Planet Zoo there real quick, and I'll see you in just a few minutes on the other side in the live portion. So here we are in the zoo in real time, and we are just outside the entrance to the North American area here. So yeah, it's pretty simple. It's actually like extremely simple, and I don't know if I want to keep it this simple, if I want to go for something a little bit more here. But yeah, this is basically the entrance here. And again, I kind of had a little bit more of an elaborate entrance. This is my take 2 of this entrance overall. I had before a really elaborate entrance with like rocks and some like fallen logs and stuff, and I just kind of felt like a lot of people had been kind of doing that style of entrance, which is great. It's a fantastic looking entrance. I love the look of it, but I just kind of want to do something a little bit different, a little bit more simple, but still, I guess, sleek and modern, I guess. I don't know how to explain it really, but anyway, so this is what I kind of came up with. I'm still kind of feeling like maybe there should be sort of archway coming through, but I kind of like the natural look of it and the simple look of it at the same time. So I don't know, I'm kind of stuck in you know, both worlds there, but kind of enjoying how it is simply, but feeling like I want to add a little bit more. But anyways, as we walk in here, have a few education boards. You'll notice I took away those arches that we put in, those kind of modern arches. They didn't really fit in with the frontier town look that we had there, had going. Did throw in this pronghorn little statue there. I thought that was a nice little touch. But yeah, here's our little frontier town here with our two buildings and one little lookout area. So this one on the right here is the would be the education building there. So and for those of you that didn't play Planet Coaster, you're probably like, what the heck? Why is there an archer there? In Planet Coaster, to keep things in scale, to guest scale, we would use animatronics, and the kind of fallback one that everyone used that was the best one, I guess, would be the archer in Planet Coaster. We don't have an archer animatronic in Planet Zoo. If anyone from Frontier is watching this, we need our archer. We have to have the archer. I think the archer needs to be in every single Planet series game. But anyways, yeah, so awesome community member and builder extraordinaire Mr. Domez went ahead and made an archer here, and he's also made a bunch of awesome backstage stuff, and there's some really neat things that you wouldn't really think about, but are really, really neat, like newspaper stands and like barrels and just different things like that. So he's a really great builder, and I'm gonna try and remember to link the archer down below and all of his other stuff down below, because again, it's high quality, great stuff there. So there's that there, and then over here we have our small animals exhibit. Again, if this is your first time hanging out or anything like that, we don't really do the interiors of our buildings too much, if at all. We will do a few of them, but not like little buildings like this. We're not really going to do the interiors of them because it just gets a little bit hard to do, and the building gets a little bit bigger than I'd like it to do. But for like our big houses and stuff, like primate houses and reptile houses and stuff, we'll definitely do it there. But anyways, we have our snake in here. I think the let's see here, the western diamondback rattlesnake in there, keeping it North American animals still. And then here I think the spider, yeah, the Mexican red knee tarantula. So there are 2 small exhibit animals there. And as we go back across here, here's a little dock here, and this is just to kind of overlook, and hey, people are actually using the boat ride this time. That's interesting. They weren't using it when I was building, but yeah, this is going to be just a little overlook here, a little dock that people can kind of sit down and relax and watch the boats go across the little canalway here and stuff. So yeah, there's our little frontier town area. Nothing too much, but you know, it doesn't need to be that much really there. So there's that, and then the rest of the area, there's some stuff that I didn't film and stuff like that, but here is what the whole area is going to look like. So we have a lot of room to cover for this whole North American area, and I think that's fun. I think that's really cool that we're gonna have such a big area to kind of work with here. So you can see how the boats will peruse around there. We have this awesome little island over here that guests are gonna be able to walk on, and here's where the second dock is for the boats. And I think eventually people will come over here once we turn our barriers into knoll fencing. And that's another thing I forgot to note, that the barriers, right now they're the metal sheet barriers, and that's just because I haven't really, you know, obviously done up any of the other stuff. So that's just so we can get the animals in there. I wanted to see what the scale of the animals and their herds looked like in comparison to the habitat size and stuff, because excuse me, because this is such a vast you know, habitat area. I wanted to make sure that we weren't dwarfing the animals, and it's a good thing I did that, because I did have to reduce down the size a few times. So but once we're done with it, you won't see any of these. The only place where there'll be this kind of barrier will be on the back side here. Excuse me. The rest of it's going to be done up with natural barrier and stuff like that. So this will all be gone. That's just kind of a quick little mock-up right now. So, but yeah, there's the a whole area there. And again, we're gonna kind of theme it up to be like a prairie slash grassland, like kind of Midwest North American prairie grassland kind of feel to it. Down over here, we have the start to our timber wolf exhibit. We have our first two male and female timber wolves. I want to start with just those two to get our alpha male and alpha female, and then we can start the herd or the pack, I should say, that way. Again, obviously this is just mapping it out, just outlining it. Excuse me. But yeah, so this is kind of outlining there. And then the last animal that we're going to do is over here. We're going to have a giant grizzly bear habitat for a female grizzly bear. I think we're just going to have the one there. So yeah, that's kind of our big ambitious new area there for the new North American area. And as you can see, this is kind of why we're having to split it up there. We got our first little section done here, but we're gonna have to do the Timberwolf area, the big prairie plains area, the island here. I'm probably gonna be redoing the canalway here a little bit. So there's a lot that's gonna be going into this this vast expansion of Thornton Hills Zoo there. So but yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up there. I'll go on one of the animals here so we can see them hanging out. I love watching all of them hang out together, though. It's really, really fun to do this. But so yeah, there we go. Comment down below. What do you think? What do you think so far of our plans for the North American expansion of Thornton Hills Zoo? Is there any other ideas you think we should throw in there? Is there something else you think I should change up a little bit? Let me know down below. I love hearing from y'all and implementing some of your ideas and stuff. So cool. I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. But yeah, until the next episode there of Thornton Hills Zoo. Have a good one, everyone.